What's going on, everybody? This is Lauren over here at TMF, a pair of the TMF podcast. And tonight, it's Sunday night, May 8th. What the hell, how's it May 8th? And we are going to do probably the first live stream that we've done with this little segment here with Jeff Kerins about men's mental health, stress, depression, anxiety, all kinds of just mental situations that we find ourselves in that we struggle with every day. And this show is live, and we do encourage you to join the show. If you are suffering from any of these things or would like to talk to somebody, you can reach out and talk to us on the show. Just leave a comment in the comment section. I'm going to put that as a pinned message on here, and we can get you on via Zoom. You don't have to show your face. If you don't want to show your face, that's fine. You can just talk to us with audio. That is fine as well. And maybe we can sort through some of the shit that goes on. In the meantime, we're probably just going to talk about my shit show of a life that I've had happen this week. That's what we're going to say. So there's Jeff right there. Real-time solutions to real-world problems, mental health, addiction, divorce, anxiety, depression, stress. We both have had some sort of form of one of these things or all of them in our life. And if you haven't checked out the other videos that Jeff has done, then check those out as well. So we've been trying to get this going, and it's honestly just been my fault that I've dropped the ball. So much going on in life for me, and sorting through it all has been a fucking headache for me. And I think I handled a lot of situations pretty well. So for other people, probably way worse. We've made it, Jeff. We're here. We've made it. We're live on YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and type this in here if you want to tell them a little bit about what it is that you do for people who have not seen any of it at all.
Ooh, starting from scratch, huh?
Some people might be starting from scratch.
Well, what I do in life is, basically, let me just start off how my life has worked out. I go through life, I have ups and I have downs. And when I have downs, some downs are major, some not so major. But yeah, I usually, anytime I'm going through a rough spot in life, I'm usually by myself. No girlfriend, no really friends that are there or anything like that. So I learned how to figure it out on my own. Now, over the years and the decades, I started to really figure out that what works for me in the research and the education and everything else that I've gotten, say on emotions or physical health, nutrition, stuff like that, works for anybody. So, and I learned the absolute hard way that depression, anxiety, PTSD, addictions, suicidal tendencies, there's one major component or symptom that links all of them together, and that's emotional pain, emotional trauma. Now, I don't use the word trauma lightly, but we can have some beliefs in life that just keep us locked down, that just keep us angry or bitter or on the defense or constantly fight or flight, can't trust, social anxiety, major anxiety, or just so with all that, when you learn, and what I teach is, again, how to unpack your emotions really one at a time. And all your answers are inside of you, all of them. And again, learning the hard way, I help people identify that because I had to do that myself. Like my rock bottom was years ago, and I was down to, like, I don't know, 120 pounds. My father just died, and and shit was dark. So yeah. So what I can do, and I got a little knack for, is people tell me their problems in just in real time, and I got solutions. I don't have to sit there like and say I'll call you back tomorrow with something or a solution, whatever. It's like, if you're depressed, anxious, upset, can't let go of the past, worried about the future, I've got solutions for you. And really, I'm just a person that, it's like, I'm going to just open up your mind, your awareness, that you can see what's going on inside of you and you can fix it. Because again, all the solutions that you need in life are inside of you. And I believe that. And I want to try and help people see it themselves. Right, Lauren?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I met Jeff here through doing a podcast through Facebook, and we talked a lot about it. And since then, we've stayed in touch, and he's helped me through some shit that's been going on in my life. We talk about it, and look, man, I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn like most people. I know my problem is I know what I need to do, and I'm not good at doing it. Just the dog. And mute. He hears somebody upstairs. Just Jacob upstairs.
Uh-oh.
He,
He's gonna get on your nerves.
I know what I need to do. I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at well, in certain situations, I'm not good at listening. Like, and I know the answer, but I got a heart that just doesn't want to listen. You know, pragmatically, I know the correct steps to solve the problem, and I do think I get through a lot of things in my own way that's healthy for me most of the time. I don't turn to drugs or physical violence or pain or anger. I don't turn to those things. Like my brain's
I
like,
did.
yeah. A lot of people do. A lot of people turn to self harm, whether it's drugs or alcohol or cutting themselves or um,
Whooping somebody's ass.
yeah, taking it out on another person or letting somebody else beat the hell out of them. I mean, whatever the case may be. I guess I'm kind of fortunate that I never turned to that. It's never been my thing. Like sometimes I will say, sometimes I'm like, man, I just want to get some vodka and just fucking pound that shit. But then I remember, like, I think to myself, like, that's not gonna fucking solve my problem, so it's stupid. I'll just be sitting here drunk. That doesn't make any sense. So
And then you start drunk texting.
I don't do that. I sober text was probably way worse.
Well, you've got a really good thing. Okay, so you come up with a bad idea, you entertain said bad idea, but what you do is you play the tape to the end.
Right.
You go past the drinking, past the escaping, the distracting, and you're like, nah, man, at the end of this, I'm just gonna hate this more than what I started with. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people, myself included at times, you play the tape right to the best part, and that's what you're missing. It's like in toxic relationships, in anything toxic, there is a benefit, a payoff, why somebody's with somebody. Could be the sex, could be the money, could be the attention, could be filling a void, or all of them. You know what I'm saying? So, um, why was I saying?
My addiction is my addiction is her. She's my addiction. That's my
Oh,
drug.
we're getting that personal right now?
Hey, that's it, man. It's when I thought about this
Well, okay.
today. I thought
No, no, no,
about
no,
this
no. Here's
today,
here's
and
the
that
thing.
was I remembered that.
It's not the person that's the addiction. It's the feelings that they create in you is the addiction.
Nah, I don't believe that. It's the person because other people can create feelings for sure. Like I've had feelings with other people, but I, it's not the feelings that I'm addicted to. I'm addicted to the person. It is the person. It's because and I said this to you the other day. People are, when you're like, well, you can all, there's you'll meet somebody else. There is somebody else out there that can do these things, that will do these things, that will be this person. And I said to you that everyone is so individually unique that you can find another person, but it won't be that person. You can't replace that person. People are, to me, they are in a way irreplaceable. It doesn't mean you can't find another person that will fill a different hole and different memories and a different life. But I will say that my addiction is this person, and to break that addiction is tough. You know, it's a tough mental acuity for me.
Well, let me see if I can put some background into what I'm saying, because what I'm saying almost sounds cold hearted. It's that when I don't want to look at me, I want to look at you.
Ah,
But
you want to look at me? All right, fair enough.
well, I'm talking to you.
All right.
So it's like people it's like, okay, so different girlfriends I've had and different friendships, it's when I'm hanging out with them and I'm talking about something. Say I'm pissed off and they listen and I can feel them listening. I feel better, or say the sex is really good. Not with the friend, but say with the girlfriend, you know. So, it's like the experiences we have with people create the feelings within ourselves. Okay, so like I really love it when they do this, and I really love it when they do that. Why are we saying love? Because we're feeling the feeling of love. And the better the feelings, the more we get addicted to it. Okay? Now, other people can trigger those same emotions in you. And what gurus teach and everything else is that we can create those same emotions within ourselves. The body doesn't know the difference between an external event or one made up in the mind. But again, we put it on the person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, you know, oh my God, she makes me feel this way and whatever. And it's like, and then we get caught in a loop because like a toxic relationship doesn't have to be abusive. That's what mostly people talk about. Like it's been pushed too far. A toxic relationship is just being, you're putting all your energy in and you're getting nothing back. That's toxic. It's toxic to you. It's toxic to the other person. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Sorry. I wouldn't say that you get, I could say getting nothing back. You get something back. It's just whether or not it's not of equal. And I don't feel like it should have to be equal all the time. It's a give and take. You give something to somebody when they need it, and, you take back what they're able to give you. Now, if that goes on 90-10 for too long, then yeah, you're going to be burned out. But I don't think it'll ever be in anyone's relationship, 50-50 all the time. It's got to be just this constant back and forth, give and take between people.
what do you mean 50-50?
Like 50-50 given, like I'm providing half the time, I'm the person who is providing everything that you need, and the other time they're providing that. Like or equal, just an equal share of what you're trying to say there, providing. What's the word I'm trying
No,
to think of?
it's like, okay, if you have a partner that does everything 50-50, but don't listen to you, you're fucked.
Well, they have to listen to you. I mean, I didn't say
So
don't
what? Only
listen.
listen to you 50% of the time?
No, I'm saying that you shouldn't be. It shouldn't. It's not always going to be 100% all in all the time with
I'm
that.
not
With
talking, see, again, I'm not talking about like responsibilities, who
I'm not
hugs
either.
who,
I'm
who
talking about
loves who after
emotionally.
work. I'm talking about listening. I'm talking about person's going through problems. You put all your time and energy to help them solve it. They don't listen.
Okay.
You have just spent X amount of energy with nothing given back. So you feel drained. Haven't you ever been around
Well,
somebody that you
okay,
just
but you're
tried and you just feel
saying,
drained after?
with nothing given back. So that's saying that you provided a solution, but who's to say that is the correct solution? It's just a solution. It's a potential solution. Now, if it's so black and white, is okay. I
No,
need
come
you
on.
to,
No. You asked a question.
yeah.
Fish. That you're saying that person. Now I got all flustered. Now you're saying with that person, it's like that person doesn't have a solution themselves, so they came to you, and it's a partner. Okay, so you care, you love them, like it could even be a friend, family member. So they came to you because they don't have a solution, and they're bitching about it. So like, you can't watch TV, this and that. Like we're gonna have to unpack this because there's a fucking problem. You can feel their energy that there's a fucking problem. So it's got to be dealt with. Now they sit down, they tell you everything. But again, they don't have the solution. Now you're like, okay, well, it's like if you do this, you'll feel like this. If you do this, it's going to keep doing like this. It's real simple. But then they don't listen to you. Now, they don't have a solution. They came to you for a solution and they're not listening to your solution. Sure, there's probably 4.6 billion solutions to any problem probability. But it's just you two in the room and you two who got to deal with each other. You
Right.
ever you ever around a partner that just doesn't want to fix their shit or address it? They're fucking draining. They're energy vampires. And if they get feisty or whatever, aggressive, like even verbally, then all of a sudden you're starting to walk around on fucking eggshells. You know what
Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
I do, and
So
it
again,
might.
that is energy spent
Right. I
and
understand.
not given back. When it's reciprocal, like, corporations call it synergy. When you're putting the energy in and you're getting energy back, you can feel it off people. You're in flow. that if you're just putting everything in, like, and again, I'm not talking about money, I'm not talking about bills, I'm not talking about duties, responsibilities. I'm just talking about what you put into a person, you should get back every time. Now they come to you or say there's a problem in the relationship because you're doing something fucking stupid. You work as hard as you can to address what they're trying to say, their needs. Don't judge their needs. You know what I'm saying? Because if there's nothing quicker that kills an argument besides empathy. Because really, an argument just got to a point because they want their feelings recognized. And then at times we're like, no, your feelings are fucking childish, or we dismiss it, or they're self-destructive. And we're like, so we don't even, now it's important to them, but it's not important to you because you can maybe see the bigger picture past it. So in the moment, they feel like they're being dismissed.
Right.
You know what it's like feeling dismissed? Ooh, I'm not a fan of it. So I'm just saying I'm all about energy and frequency with people. And if you don't get it back, and again, I'm in the helping field. So it's like, if I'm going to take my personal time to help somebody, I need them to listen to me. Because it's like, it's a waste of fucking energy. Like, I'm like a master carpenter. So it's like, hey, Jeff, do you want to come over and just build a deck for me for free? That's what it's like when someone's like, hey man, can I talk to you? Hey, I got a problem. Can you help me? Because you get my all.
Right.
I'm not worried about
I
bills. I'm
understand
not
that. So
worried
let's
about the
say,
government.
you know, how do you determine the difference between someone really needs to vent to you and they don't want a solution. They just need to get it out. Right?
Perfect.
That's step one, because getting it out is step one.
No, come on, keep it. So somebody just needs to vent and let it out. That's perfect. Because one of the highest forms of love you can show somebody is let them take their fucking shit out on you, and you don't do a thing except love them.
Right.
That's one of the highest forms of love. Okay, and I've done it. I practice it. It works. But it's like, fine. If you got your shit out, then that energy should be gone. And that means like, come, let's cuddle on the couch. Let's go out to a movie. That energy that I'm feeling better be fucking gone now. Because I let you take it out on me. You know what I'm saying? If you got to
Right.
throw in some insults, I won't take it personal because you have an emotion, which is usually anger, that needs to get out.
Right.
So this is what partners are for. Like, I've had excellent fucking partners where it's like, they just know I'm being feisty in the moment because I have an emotion that I just need to get the fuck out of me. So they don't gaslight me. They don't get defensive. They don't whatever. Now, if they're having a bad day, they might. And now we have the potential for an argument. But usually real quick, I'm usually the one being like, okay, I'm being a dick. Even if I'm not, and I'm just feeling aggressive or I'm feeling agitated or bitey, it's like, you know what? I'm being a dick. And I work real hard to go into empathy to see why they're saying the things that they do. Because it's not like we want to go home and fucking yell at each other. It's not like we want to go home and give a cold shoulder or, you know what I'm saying, be dismissive or shut down. So, but again, usually to get to that layer of peace again, you got to go through the layers of emotion of what's building it up. Could be anger, could be sadness, could be grief, could be fear, could be whatever. But the right partner helps them work it out and allows, one of my most successful relationships in life was that I said, look, if we're arguing or it's getting heated, we're allowed one insult and we're allowed one backtrack.
Okay.
You're just like your fucking mother. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just agitated. You know what I'm saying? And my girlfriend at the time would just be like, we just got into the habit. If we got to that point to insult, we just apologized real quick. And that helped diffuse the situation. Most times it just diffused it. It was because, again, you're getting an apology right in real time when they just finished insulting you. And the apology is genuine because you're with that person because you love them. You're not with them because you want to fucking fight with them.
Right.
Even people who are chaos and fight all the time, they fight all the time because they don't know any better. They're unconscious. They don't know there's a solution besides arguing and projecting and getting the feelings out one way or the other.
Okay. I mean, I've never really been an argumentative person, so I don't feel that so much. Maybe I'm on the other side of it sometimes, but
Fair enough.
you know, I don't relate to that as well. I have known couples that broke down, man. Like, I'm like, dude, how do you live together? Like,
Yeah.
like
That's when I walk.
seriously.
That's when I'm saying like, hey man, there's a lid for every fucking pot. But like
Ah,
will
man.
attract to like. Angry people attract. But again, somewhere down the line, they looked at their fucking partner. It's like this is as good as it fucking gets.
Yeah, maybe, or it's not worth the hassle of leaving, or whatever the fucking situation. I don't
There's
know.
there's there's some fucking payoff why we stick around in bad relationships.
Yeah,
Usually it's fucking sex or money. The sex is really good, or
I don't know.
you know,
I don't know. I know people who were in relationships that were bad that didn't even have sex anymore, and they're just like hate each other constantly, but won't leave. They're scared. It's a fear to be alone, fear to leave that person, especially if you have kids. Like now I just have just me and this kid. Man, my
well,
buddy, so a friend of mine, this is his second marriage. It's a shit show marriage. The first one was a shit show, but no kids. They got divorced. She was fucking nuts and man, treated him like shit, abusive. And then he marries this other woman, has a kid with her. She's fucking crazy. They're both like he's like a stick of dynamite. He's fine. He is completely harmless until you light the fuse, and then it's like, well, we don't have a whole lot of time. You know? And she's over there with a blowtorch that's on at all times, and they constantly fight. I mean, I would go as far as say they actually hate each other, and they have two kids now, and it's like I'm like, dude, this for you, this ends in one of two ways: death and death. One of you is going to kill the other one. That's the only way you're getting out of this. They won't leave each other, and they're miserable, and it's like, dude, you're too young for that. And it's definitely not the sex. It's definitely not the money because they both fucking don't make no damn money.
well,
It's just
here's the
fear.
it's misery.
It's misery.
Misery loves company. But this,
Right.
like, what happens when misery hangs out with misery? You're looking right the fuck at it. Now, you're
Yeah.
looking at it with a rational mind and an optimistic life most of the time. So it's hard to wrap your head around being like,
I want to stay in
why?
that.
Why? Now, here's the thing. You're right. It'll end in some type, it'll climax to a point, they just shut down or they just die of fucking cancer.
They are
Who
just, I
knows?
hope they're writing it down because one of them's going to film a hell of a Lifetime episode. It's going to be
Well,
amazing.
if
You
they
know?
want to
Fuck.
if they really want to change the relationship, they got to change themselves. And
Oh,
just to
yeah.
prove it, so to prove it with your buddy, he jumped from one toxic relationship into an even worse toxic relationship.
Yeah. He did.
So, but if he changed his ways and he looked at his own toxicity, what he's addicted to, everything else, and I mean like on a thinking and an emotional level, I have no idea if it's substance or process. So it's like when you do the inner work and you start to figure out your bitterness, you start to surrender to it, you start to unpack your own shit on why you do what you change beliefs. He believes the world is a certain way. He believes people are a certain way. He believes he deserves a certain amount of treatment. He believes people deserve a certain amount of treatment. Why does he believe all these things? Because of the way he fucking feels.
Okay.
So the stronger the belief, the stronger the feeling. Now you go inwards, you unpack those feelings, start surrendering, start accepting, start forgiving the stories. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's guilt and shame, you got inner work being like, shit, there's stuff I need to accept about myself and there's stuff I need to forgive about myself. Usually anger and fear is out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and anger is a very selfish emotion. You'd be surprised when you're thinking angry thoughts. You'll hear three words very commonly: me, myself, and I. How could they do that to me?
Right.
You know, look at the way they're not listening to me. Look at the way they're insulting me. I wonder what they're going to say to me in the future. And I'm going to say this to this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Again, building up anger, building up anger, building up anger. You really want to stop anger, you just use the process of empathy. Because again, it's hard to build up anger when you're not thinking about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like me, myself, and I can generate a lot of fucking anger and it can generate a lot of fear. But if you go into empathy, what you're not doing is you're not hearing the words me, myself, and I. You're thinking just about them and trying look for the best possibility of them. Like some people are such fucking assholes. You got to go back to the day they were born and been like, they, they've had a fucked up life, and now they're like they're taking it out on me, or I'm the the victim of narcissism, a sociopath. Like babies aren't born fucking narcissists. Like
Right.
this shit is mostly nurture over nature. But again, when we're dealing with them in real time, we're like, fuck this narcissist, fuck this sociopath. Like everyone's diagnosing everyone. I love it over a little bit of pain, you know?
Yeah.
So, but again, if this person's in your head and in your feelings and it's driving you fucking insane out of anger and whatever, this and that, the only way out of it's fucking forgiveness. And the only way you're going to get to a place of forgiveness or acceptance is empathy. And again, if you go right back, and if we usually know somebody long enough, whatever, we can usually see, oh yeah, that situation really fucked them up and they were never the same, or the relationship with their parents is toxic and that's why I'm getting the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, you can see where they started to fuck up or go down the line or start to become selfish, manipulative, everything else, So now that helps alleviate the anger and the stress and the pain that you're going through. And to keep it out, you just got to forgive. But that doesn't mean to forgive somebody. That doesn't mean you accept those people in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's like time to move the fuck on. But don't look back in anger. I think John Lennon said, so no, or it's Oasis. I don't know. Fucking Oasis. Why not? Yeah. Showing my age.
This is Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus said
There
it.
you go. Come in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. It's like when you become aware, if you want to master your own emotions, you're going to realize you're doing it all. You're creating your rage, you're creating your grief, you're creating your despair, sorrow, fear, anger. You are doing it. But the illusion that we believe it's coming from out there. So we wait for out there to change inwards. And yeah, it's just like going to the casino and rolling the fucking dice. Sometimes you come up 7, sometimes you come up snake eyes.
Right.
But
Well,
most of the
do you
time, if you're
think that
gonna
people have a harder time because they refuse to deal with what's going on inside of them in some way, shape, or form, right? So if it's all inside of us, what makes it worse? Does it make it worse because we won't deal with it and accept what we're feeling? We just try to rationalize it or, divert it or deflect it onto something else.
So life is kind of like a math equation in a way. If you're doing 1 + 1 and it equals 2, now that's like, and then things start going bad. All right. Now, say 1 + 1 is I'll forgive them, but I won't forget. Now that's a bunch of horseshit. You're still holding on to the emotion, what I'm saying, just
Right.
not as on an intense level, but the more mistrust, the more you don't forget how life fucked you over or people fucked you over, the more pain you'll carry in your subconscious. And our body is the subconscious. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not a bottomless pit of emotions. We're not a bottomless pit of love. Like
Right.
we do have our cap. So it's like, and usually when people hit their cap, they usually kill themselves or they get involved in drugs, you know what I'm saying, or distraction
Right.
outside. So it's like, now when you say people refuse, it's more like people are unconscious. Now, if you've always done 1 + 1 your whole life, then that's life. Like you're not even conscious of the other solutions. But again, the illusion is we think we're out there. We think it's all like Dispenza puts it perfect when he's like, we have a subjective mind to an objective life. So
Right.
we're very judgmental on the inside. And what creates judgment? The way we fucking feel. Now, if you're just filled with oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine, trust me, you ain't going to give a fuck what's going on out there. And you're going to forgive it all because you want to keep that buzz going. But if you look on a chemical level, falling in love are those fucking chemicals, neurotransmitters, whatever. So, but we have the power to actually create it in our mind and in our body, but we look to something external. Like, I'll never be happy again unless I find this person who checks these boxes and whatever. So again, unconsciously, we make deals with ourselves on why I have to be miserable now, be lonely, suffer, whatever, because I'm waiting for something external to happen. And then usually we'll critically think our way. Well, I'm going to move. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to start working out and everything else to change the way we feel. Now, the working out, sure. But again, the distraction and going, say, for a new life, you're running away from your own feelings.
Okay. What if it's just a matter of changing habits, bad habits into new
There you
habits?
go. Perfect.
Right. So
That okay, so
you're doing
but
that.
you're doing
So
the inner, that's the inner work. That's
I
going
get that.
inwards.
But do you think for some folks that they have to remove themselves from the physical area to be able to even get in that mindset? Like for me, sometimes that's where I feel like I just need to get up and I need to move and get into a different environment to clear my head and to just to move because you can get stuck, man. You can get stuck in the physical world. We live in a physical world and we're surrounded by things that create connections in our brain with memories. And so sometimes I think, when you say, well, you just need I get the external thing isn't the source of the problem, but it can definitely,
It's
I think,
triggering
change, right? Just change the
multiple.
trigger. Like, so let's just get rid of that. For me, I'll tell you an example of something that, before, before Megan, there was a woman that I met that affected my life a lot when I got divorced. And I spent a lot of time, I had a emotional connection to her, and it was a very odd thing for me to feel. It was somebody, and I knew this like she came in my life. I was like, you're not going to be here forever. Like you're here for a purpose, and that's maybe just to get me through this shit show of a divorce and my professional problems. I was like, maybe that's just the only reason you're here, and then you'll be gone. And I can remember vividly. Oh, look at me freezing up because I'm a tech guy. It makes the most sense. Put this thing back on. But
It
I can
happens.
remember,
Back.
yeah, it happens. Driving in my car, and I remember looking over, and I could see her in my passenger seat. I could see image of her from a time when we were driving somewhere, singing in the car, having a good time, and I could vividly remember that in real time. It was almost like a ghost sitting in my car, and that doesn't. I've only had that happen. I can think of like less than I can count on my hand. Where I can vividly see that memory, and I can look over and just appreciate it. But that's like to me, something physically triggered that. And you can either accept it, and for some people, it might be way worse. To get out of
Okay,
that
so
environment. But what I'm
what
going
came
with,
first? What came first, the emotions or the manifestation?
I don't know. I don't
So
remember.
I'll tell you how it went. Your fucking subconscious emotions made a fucking manifestation in the mind that you saw as an illusion and thought was real, but it's the emotions from within coming forward, project. It's not like unless you were doing fucking mushrooms while you're driving and been like, oh, I see. Oh, look, would you look at that? Okay, big difference. But if everything being equal, 95% of our day we are reacting. Have you ever driven home, got in the driveway, and you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
Well, I do that all the time,
Sub-
every
Your
day.
subconscious got you there because your wee 5% mind was thinking about the past, thinking about the future. What's the problem with this? But the subconscious was just, so that's like, again, that like, think of belief patterns that would drive you home that you don't even know you're fucking driving.
Well, my enhanced autopilot gets me home like that on a regular basis.
There you go.
I have a slightly
Well,
technological
for us
advantage to
poor
it,
fucking
but
folk,
yeah.
you know,
Well, I know that you could drive, you could have passed like 10 purple elephants fucking on the side of the road, and then have been like, you see those elephants? You'd be like, what elephants? You're just oblivious to it, right? Because you're just
I'd
in a
be
different world.
jumping out of the car and taking selfies with a bunch of
Yeah.
purple elephants
Yeah,
flying
everyone
by.
else is driving by. Like, it's either subconscious or it's a whole lot of that's not my
Because
problem.
when you
you know?
realize how powerful your subconscious is, and it's fucking powerful, you will start to real like now here's the thing though. You can hack your subconscious. Like Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Wim Hof, Eckhart Tolle's a little much, but or a little slow for me, but it's the exact same way. He's just saying just being and whatever in presence and yeah. But if you're gonna like as left is teaching you on a critical thinking level of what to do and how to process your emotions, especially the subconscious ones. Because when the subconscious comes up and it comes out, and you're now consciously aware of what caused the pain in the first place and the multiple stories that reinforce the intensity of the emotion, then you can now change the programming because you're going to accept it and forgive it. And you're going to keep doing that to reaffirm. So you're pruning synapses and creating new synapses. So you're actually reprogramming your mind, but you don't have the emotional charge pushing forward. So it's like when you work shit out, say on a big level, you feel lighter. Shit starts to go more your way. Now, usually we're like, well, I had a talk with somebody and I got some things off my chest. You didn't get nothing off your chest. Your just ego got your feelings recognized. See, again, we held on to this pain. So that weight that was on the chest that we got off with somebody, because our ego is like, they recognize the feelings. So now I can release them. That's an illusion, because you can release those feelings on your own. When you realize it's the ego psyche in play that's holding your feelings hostage in the body. Now, I teach people because I had to learn the fucking hard way. Like, it's like I had to learn the hard way on how to get closure when I couldn't get closure. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But never in my mind did I picture ever having a conversation with someone. I did, but always to a problem and a worse problem. And how am I going to defend myself? How am I going to get over this? I fucking hate this feeling. Just the loop, the loop, the loop,
Right.
the loop. Then if a distraction comes, something in life, or, smoking a joint, having a drink, then all of a sudden the chemicals in my bodies change. More dopamine, more serotonin, a lot easier to let go of the anger because I changed the feeling before I changed the thoughts. But you can go inwards and get your closure, get the feelings out and let it be done. It's like, this is what I teach a lot of people who have lost somebody suddenly. And it wasn't the best relationship. And they're carrying around a lot of grief, a lot of guilt, you know what I'm saying? A lot of
Right.
shame or whatever. I teach them how to get closure on almost a meditation level. I don't like using the word meditation, but you are silencing the mind. You are picturing something. It's like those fucking idiots when they're like, you're under the waterfall. You can feel the sunshine on your face. Because again, they have taken over. So the conscious mind has surrendered. Okay. Now it's accepting whatever information is coming in the subconscious. In the subconscious, the autonomic system is now taking over just by thought. Like, I can feel the heat. I can feel the water on my skin. It's just like the placebo effect. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
believe that this pill's going to heal me. And it's like, so we can unpack our emotions all by ourselves. And the beauty about it is, yeah, the journey fucking sucks. You know what I'm saying? But the breakthroughs that you have, you never go back to. So it's like, and here's the problem with emotional pain and emotional beliefs, like hardcore, angry, sad, lonely beliefs, is that we've carried it for so long. People say, as soon as they get a little defensive, they're like, that's just the way I am. Well, I am is the two most powerful words in the English language, because anything you say after that defines you. So, but here's the thing though, if they just learned A.S.L.E.F.T, say watching a video without ever speaking me, and they just start processing it that way, they are automatically going to change their beliefs, and their feelings are automatically going to come higher, be more positive. Who they are, the I am, has changed.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Good.
I think I think for a lot of folks, when you're down and you have depression or anxiety or high levels of stress, it's difficult to stop your mind midway and just go, I'm not going to do this right now. Like you told me
Of course not.
yesterday. You told me yesterday when you had that thought, just say cancel. Just cancel the thought. So today, I took the dog to the park, which is a place that I have 1,000 memories of doing that. And I didn't usually just go there by myself prior to going there with her. And today I'm like, my brain wants to go, this sucks. And I told myself, cancel that. Like we're here, we're not gonna think like that. And you know, it's not easy to do. It's difficult, especially when you're just by yourself and you're just like, fuck. And everything around you is a memory, and whether it's a good or a bad memory, I think it goes both ways. But it's hard to just have that strength to go, it's not gonna do, I'm just not gonna feel this way. Whether it's you're out there doing that or you're at work, you're at the gym, whatever it is, you're just laying at home in bed.
Hold on. My apologies, because there's a little bit of a disconnect. Yeah, you're supposed to say cancel when you catch yourself going down the road on a thought level, because it's the feelings that are producing the thoughts.
Right.
Okay. When you hit cancel, there's to put the new programming in is I accept the way I feel. I know I'm not in a place of acceptance right now, and that's okay. You're accepting your non-acceptance to the way you feel. So, but what you are doing is you're canceling the story, accepting you feel that way, and willing to surrender to how you feel, to get it out, to get triggered, to get more of it triggered, to get it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, tears are just proof that our emotions are physical. And when the energy is out, it's fucking out. But if we get caught in there, like, again, like, this sucks, this is really tough, whatever. The cancel part is stop telling yourself the story. Stop allowing the synapses just to go. Just like, as Terrence McKenna put it, he's like, we believe we're thinking, but we're actually listening. Unpack that fucking statement.
Okay.
Well, it's like I'm not a Buddhist, but there's a lot of good shit that they talk about. And just by accident one time, they have like laws of incarnation and laws of reincarnation and whatever. And I don't remember, I only remember one, and it's that in the physical world, law, I think it's law number 4, anything you can observe, you are not. Now, this is a real trip, okay? Because I can observe my body, so I'm not my body. I can observe my thoughts, so therefore, I am not my thoughts. Because in order to observe, you have to have another point to
Right.
observe what you're doing. So it's like, but this is like, but again, if you can observe your emotions and your feelings, you are not your emotions and your feelings. So where we get confused is we say, I am angry, I am sad, I'm, depressed, I am anxious. Instead of saying, I am carrying anger in my body, I am carrying sadness in my body. So you're allowing to separate. You're not, the observer and the emotion are not becoming one. You're learning to separate, because if something's not a part of you, it's easier to unpack and let go of. That's the benefit. Like, that's why I think the universe made me see this law, because it was just a mind trip, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm not my thoughts because I can observe them. I am not my body because I can observe it. But it's all good. But again, the mind, body, and soul, it's all connected. It is a trifecta. But I've learned, like, a lot of people got no problem working out and they got no problem going to therapy, to keep it simple. But they do have a problem with praying. They do have a problem with God, because, God has given them a fucking shit life. So the spirituality part, the spirit or soul, some people just don't even want to entertain. And that's fine, fair enough. Because here's the thing, what I've learned when it comes to mind, body, soul stuff, if you're taking care of at least 2 out of the 3, the one just takes care of itself. So, like, if you're like, you get your body in shape, you start exercising, you start intermittent fasting, you start, ketosis, whatever, like, and you just make the improvement. Like, you calm down your stomach, you'll watch your anxiety drop by like 80%, because serotonin, 90% of our serotonin, which is the grateful feeling, is produced in our stomach. But we're always pumping in caffeine, sugar, processed foods, everything else. And again, the body gets addicted to it. If it's not getting what it wants, it creates these feelings, like an anxious feeling. Your mind's like, hey, I know those feelings. So what does it do? It gives you anxious thoughts. How does it give you anxious thoughts? About the future and the fucking past. All because of what's not in our body in the moment. But when we become aware of it, you know what I'm saying? We can unpack feelings, then we can unpack nutrition or what we're putting in our body. We start to separate it, so it doesn't seem like one big problem. We can tackle it a little bit easier. But emotions is the tough one, because we believe there's no changing our emotions without antidepressants, without drugs, alcohol, like when it's really bad.
Right.
or at just a bare minimum being like, I got to meet somebody new in my life to make me happy, to get rid of this feeling of loneliness or incomplete and whatever. And that's all a lie. But the lie gets reinforced is because when we do meet somebody or we do get a new job or we do get a shit ton of money, whoo, boy, those feelings are fucking amazing. You know?
Right.
Like, but when we don't have those things, then we go into lack. You know what I'm saying? And then we start making deals. Well, I'll be happy when, or I'll make a change when, or we just get fucking stubborn as fuck because we got no solutions. Like, this is just the way I am. This is just
Right.
the way life is. The worst thing, like being 46 years of age, one thing I realized is one of the worst things you can do when you get old is be set in your ways. Now,
Yeah.
if life's fucking amazing, yeah, get real set in your ways. Don't let anybody in or out. You know what I'm saying? But if you're struggling and everything else, and like the benchmark for a human being, like if everything's perfect in this world and the body's in homeostasis, we're very peaceful and loving creatures. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we do we have trouble believing that that's even possible just by us alone, because of the amount of money I make, because of the job I had and everything else. Like, you want to talk about environment. I don't know the gentleman's name, but there's a guy who wrote a book because he had a spiritual experience, a very spiritual, like spirit guides, the whole 9 yards, enlightened. And he had this in Auschwitz. And he wasn't one of the guards. You know what I'm saying? This is a
Yeah.
prisoner and his family getting killed, experimented on, like pretty much the worst place on earth. And this person changed the way they felt into a very loving, peaceful, whatever, in that spiritual experience. So if that's so again, I would never want to experience anything like that. But it's like if I sit there and say, well, I can't because of my job, or I can't because of where I live or what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can. But if it's like, what is it? Henry Ford said, if you believe you can, you're right. And if you believe you can't, you're right.
Right. No, that is 1,000% accurate. And that goes across the board for
Yeah, man. So if you
anything.
don't believe you can heal or change the way you feel without something external happening, you are
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
But
I've heard that.
if you believe and you're willing to open your mind, there is a possibility to heal and change the way you feel forever. Then you come see me. No,
Right.
but no,
No,
but
but
it's like,
you gotta find a way because navigating life is not
no,
so
you don't have to
simple.
find shit.
You
You don't
do.
have to find, you don't have to, people don't have to do nothing except treat people with respect. That's all you got to do. But you don't, the way you live your life, that's on you. And kudos to you either way. So usually people only really change when something extreme happens in their lives,
Yeah.
throws them in a totally different direction. Now, it breaks some people or it changes people, like for more positive. Like some people who are carrying around so much guilt and shame, they could turn to drugs and alcohol and suicide, or they could turn to making the decision, I'm changing my life and I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start doing this. So it's like crazy emotions, negative emotions can make us do, like it can take us down that path, or we can take us to do something. That's why I say like emotional pain is our teacher. Well, it's a burden until it becomes the teacher. Because
Right.
if we're not learning from it, we're living with it. And living with it is very difficult. Like everything being equal, you know, your parents are still alive, you haven't lost anybody to suicide, addiction, you haven't been beaten, you haven't been verbally or sexually or physically abused. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, life's doing all right for you, you know? But the reward of going through such these tragedies that I have found is that your consciousness grows into a way that was never there before, in a very positive way. You look at life differently. You look at life more optimistic, less fear towards it, less fear towards people. That's the reward dealing with your emotional pain, because you'll be happier than you ever were going into it.
Okay. I get that. Like, I know a lot of the clips that I listen to have kind of the same tone to them. Like Rogan says a lot, like, you didn't fail. You have failed. And failure is a necessity to growth. You have to. You'll never, if you've never failed, you'll never understand hardships. And you'll never appreciate, you know, the other side of it. Like you'll never appreciate what you have. And there's and I saved a clip for it. Oh, you know what? I did save it. I'm gonna see how I can pull it up because some of this stuff I see this you told me the other day. Told me the other day, like, what'd you say to me? Something about what you put out is kind of what you get back or something. I don't remember. But if all you're looking for, is one thing, that's all you're gonna find, something like that. I don't remember exactly because
I'm glad you listened to me, buddy.
I don't remember the exact
I feel it
words.
right in the heart.
Jesus. But I'm gonna see here. You can hear this. Make sure everything's up.
Change the conversation.
Hold on a second. Let me switch my audio input. This is actually a Gary V sound. Let's see if we can hear you.
7 billion people need to change the conversation of what success looks like. It is not to make $1 billion. It is to actually wake up in the morning and be in a good mood.
And that resonates with me. Did you hear that? Did you hear it, Jeff?
No.
Oh, fuck. I think
hey man, it's making you
YouTube
smile, so I'm all for it.
I think YouTube could hear it. Why can't you hear it? Because you're only on my mic. That's why. Man, how am I going to get you to?
It's all right.
That? Select a microphone. Same system.
I don't need.
Well, Gary V said. He said 7 billion people need to change what success means. It's not numbers in a bank account. It's waking up and being happy yourself every day. That's really what success is. I can't believe you can't hear that.
If you had 7.6 billion people who loved the shit out of themselves, we wouldn't be divided and we couldn't be ruled.
Right.
Because you can only give away what you're carrying. And if I'm carrying anger, consciously or subconsciously, I can give that shit away in spades.
Yeah.
But if I'm an angry person and I sit there and I'm like, I love you, you ain't going to feel it. You're going to hear it, but you ain't going to feel it. And that's called mixed vibes, because I can only give away what I'm feeling.
Okay.
Dr. Wayne Dyer put it perfect. He's like, if I want to give you a dozen oranges, he's like, I don't have any oranges on me. He's like, I got to go to the store, get you some oranges. He's like, but again, he's like, if I'm not angry, I can't give away anger.
Right.
But if I am an angry person, I'll just wait for this world or people to trigger something that'll make me angry and I can blame them for it. Like, the one thing I learned, if you're ever going to take the journey or become a master of your emotions and the way you feel, rule number 1, only you hurt you on an emotional level. Only you can make you sad. And that gets a lot of people's ire going, especially the people who've been through shit and trauma, but I'm not going to sit there and debate it. It's truth. Now you can deny it and you can go on with your shitty ass life, or you can be like, how is this guy right? And start unpacking it that way and enjoy the journey, because you will get there and you will be happier for it.
Right. Man, I wish you could hear this. Damn it. This is upsetting, Jeff, that you cannot hear what I want to.
Do you want to just mouth it word to word?
No, I don't. I want you to be able to hear it, and I don't know how to do that via Zoom. So, you know what? I'm gonna get real crafty. Give me just a second. I'm gonna get crafty. This might backfire for.
Aren't you live?
I'm gonna get somewhat crafty here.
You're so crafty.
There you go. I'm gonna put my headphone on here. All right. This is I'm gonna play this also because we had some people in here that were from the craft sector and the t-shirt sector, people that follow the apparel line stuff. But this one, I like this, and this is a guy. He's on TikTok. He's the real Brad Leia. He's mostly sales-oriented, business-oriented content.
Fucking hate salespeople.
Yeah, but he's on a different wavelength.
No, I'm kidding.
When it comes to it. So I'm gonna play this, and you should be able to hear. I'm gonna put my headphone over it, and then that should work. And what I'm gonna do is just mute the audio here, so that hopefully it doesn't. I don't want it to double back. All right, let's try this.
make you millions of dollars, introduce you to anybody you'd want to meet, and literally change everything you want changed, or can literally hook you up with whatever you want in life.
Why would I?
Would you like me to introduce them to you, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's what I'm going to tell you. After the podcast, I want you to go into a bathroom, make sure there's no one else in there, shut the door, lock it, and look around. You'll meet them. And when you do see the individual, I want you to freaking introduce yourself. I want you to get to know one another, and I want you to always take care of that dude, because that dude is the one that you need to worry about a relationship with. See, most people, I believe, they can't break through barriers and plateaus because deep down they don't really like themselves. They don't really feel like they deserve it. So they continue to make irrational decisions. You want me to
That resonates with me.
Yeah. You know what, man? It's like this. I've been in this game, the healing game, for over 10 years now. Everyone will say it like A.S.L.E.F.T. I wasn't sitting under a tree meditating and all this came to me. I learned it from other doctors, gurus, people I respected, what they had to say. It resonated with me. And then I made it my own. Like, how does this make sense to me in my life? You know what I'm saying? So it's like him just saying, and again, you didn't even wait till the end, but the person he's talking about, he's got to meet up in the bathroom, is himself. But I made a joke when you had the headphones on, being like, what if there's no mirror in the bathroom? And he keeps talking. So when you see him, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, so that's just me being a smart ass, but it's, right. I get the point. I get it.
Well, it just reiterates the fact that a lot of people don't like themselves. A lot of people do not. They don't really.
Listen, my man.
Where they're at.
That's called the shadow self, as Carl Jung put it. It's the shit we don't like about ourselves that we put in the unconscious and the deep unconscious. So, and yeah, if we got shit we don't like about ourselves, it keeps bleeding into our life. It makes us think subjectively to an objective world. So we don't go after the big hopes and dreams goals because we don't think we deserve it.
Yeah.
We don't speak up in a meeting because we don't think we'll be heard.
Right.
So it's like, how's this, man? I've talked to that guy in the mirror a lot of times, and we've worked it out. Yeah. But it's like if somebody wants to work on their shadow selves, just Google shadow work. And again, but you'll notice it's like an unconscious thing. Like, so if I'm pissed off at somebody, or I'm being petty or jealous, whatever, it's very rare now, but I'm human, I'm possible of it. I do have an ego. It's like, I'll be like, what in that person, if I'm getting annoyed with that person, I'll be like, what about me, that traits in me that I don't like, and it could be, say, something for when I was a kid or did something as a teenager. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I fucking hated myself for it. Then I see it in that person, I automatically fucking hate them. So the shadow work of that is like, okay, this person's reminding something of me. So, because it's unconscious, it's the feeling, then thought. That's the way the unconscious works. You got to feel it first, then think it. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. But again, it's like our conscious mind's like a flashlight, 5%. So it doesn't capture the whole room. It captures where we're looking. So when you take that 5% conscious mind and you go put it in the back room, and you're like, okay, why don't I like this about myself? You accept that the feeling's there. So you really, like, even if you don't change it in the moment, the character trait or the behavioral pattern, even if you don't change it in the moment, you have now made it conscious. You have now made the unconscious conscious. So the next time you meet somebody like that or whatever, and a situation goes down and you start to get angry, petty, jealous, irritated, whatever, you're gonna be like, you'll start laughing, being like, oh, I just don't like that about myself. And you'll notice you just won't play it out. You know what I'm saying? Because you worked it out, or in the process of, so you kind of give the person, like, you let them off the hook a little bit more, because again, you notice that, like, you have that insecurity too, and that's why they're bragging, or that's why they won't shut up, or whatever, this and that.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
That's just really similar. That's just like really simple stuff for the shadow work. But the shadow is really just stuff beliefs. wrapped in dark ass toxic feelings that we don't like about ourselves.
Okay. I get that.
That's what I've learned, at least.
I get that. I experience that sometimes.
Yeah, man.
You know?
So always, all the answers you want in life to be happy are inside of you.
Yeah, that's a hard place to get into for a lot of people.
Well, it is like, okay, so if you hit rock bottom and you want to change, you would learn something like A.S.L.E.F.T. You know, like I have a structured thing about, you know, like, so with forgiveness, um, I say you got to make a list of 5 people. And it's 5 people you have to forgive unconditionally. You have to get to a place of unconditional forgiveness. That means your side's never heard. You might even have to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like get to it, like for shit that you didn't even do. Like you get to a place of unconditional forgiveness, your life will improve like 80 to 90%, just on an emotional level. Like with everything being equal, you know, you didn't lose a bike in a motorcycle accident, and you don't have like colon cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
keeping everything equal. So in the list of 5, the number 1 is your name. 2, 3,
Right.
4, 5 doesn't matter. Now you can attack this list 2 ways. Work from 5 to 1, or you can just do 1 and the rest won't matter. Because when you go inwards and you start taking the journey of self-forgiveness with your life, like most times hey, you hear that we are our worst critic.
Yeah.
So how you silence that voice is you forgive and you accept yourself. That silences the critic. Because if you're feeling the love and you're feeling the peace, why would you go and beat yourself up? Because you're an asshole? No, because the programming's done.
Right.
So when you go inwards to get to a place of unconditional forgiveness for yourself, that journey, that tough ass journey that you'll see down the list, those people don't matter because they were doing literally the best they could. As toxic as they are, they were doing the best they can. And you will see they were programmed. You will see that they were like life gave them a shit stick. And guess what? You know, we projected it forward.
Yeah.
And you just happen to be a victim of it.
Yeah. That's true.
So now if you want to work your shit out, that's like one way. A.S.L.E.F.T is one way. Then you could say do Wim Hof, the Tumo breathing with the cold exposure. That shuts the mind down to a point where it's like we're just in the now. We're in the present moment. The mind's not in the future. It's not in the past. It's like, holy fuck, this is cold. And you're just oxygenating your body over and over and over again. It's really cool because you can start to take control of your autonomic nervous system because the mind is now not in play. The ego mind, the self has dissolved. Like when you become nothing to no thing and someone to no one, and you know what I'm saying, like from space time to no time, that's the present moment.
Yeah.
But how you do that is you have to shut your mind down. The mind has to get quieter. That's why people say I can't meditate, because the mind chatter will not stop. And if it's about to stop, the body starts getting uncomfortable. Like, I want to do something else. This fucking sucks. Nothing's happening. That's the mind tricking us because it knows it's shutting down. So it's its last grasp at attempt to being like, no, listen to me. Listen to me. So as Wayne Dyer puts it, you know, ego is an acronym, edging God out. Now, you know, for people got a problem with the word God, just say like the vibration of love or the feeling of love. On a chemical level, let's say it's oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine all mixed together. That's what happens when you can silence the chatter in your mind. And you start taking over, the body relaxes, all those chemicals, because the body is trying to go back to homeostasis. It's our mind that keeps it in fight or flight. You know, the stressors,
Right.
always stressed, always thinking, always thinking, always thinking. But the body's like, yo, man, stop fucking thinking so I can heal.
Yeah.
Now, then there's a quantum physics spirit level, tapping into the quantum field. That's a conscious energy that loves you unconditionally. But some people aren't ready to unpack that yet.
Yeah. I was trying to read the book that my other guest sent me, and hers is a more spiritual thing. And I started reading it, and I was like, man, because I talked to her for like 2 hours, about her story and her angels and all her spiritual side of things. And if you're open-minded to it, or if you're religious, especially if you're religious, then it makes a lot of sense to you. Like, then you look at it, and she talks a lot about the ego in her book too.
Well, here's the thing.
Extensively.
It's not even like sometimes you open your mind to stuff, and sometimes you have a life experience that just blasts your fucking mind open. That's what happened to me over 10 years ago. I had a spiritual experience, but to sum it up in one word, it was a goddamn exorcism. All my worst, I was in the shower, 6 o'clock in the morning. All my worst memories from pretty much age 35 back to when I was 3 all came present in my mind, and all the emotions that attached to them. I was literally calling out to stop. I was like, please stop, please stop, please stop. My eyes are rolling in the back of my head, and I was just getting these images that either embarrassed me, made me feel guilt, shame, anger, whatever, rage. And it wouldn't fucking stop. And then finally it just made me throw up because I couldn't take anymore. And right out, and I looked down, and what I threw up, it wasn't bile, it wasn't food. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just grabbed the shower head, and I just like, cause I'm just still like, you're in shock. You're like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm bent over, I'm washing whatever came out of me down the drain. And as soon as I stood up, I felt like I was being like an electrical charge was running right through my body. And it felt really good. Like, even though the shower was hitting me, I couldn't feel it. The steam, I could see the steam, I couldn't see the water. And every hair on my body, even the little hairs on my toes, were just standing straight up. My leg hair, even though I was soaking wet, this is like I was just plugged right in. And then it just got really intense, and I dropped to the ground on my knees, and I was just crying with love. Like, it was the most peaceful thing. And it's like, I was like, I'm expecting to hear fucking the voice of Jesus, like, oh, you've been lost, it's time to come home. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. It just told me to do 2 things. One, quit smoking, and I had job offers on the table, and was like, take this specific job. And I'm like, okay, so I took the job, didn't quit smoking. Life is what it is. Batting 500. So, but in that time, like, I felt differently. Now, what happened is, like, I started having experiences. Like, I could start seeing people's auras. I had to research what it was, because they're like, what the hell am I looking at? I started picking up on dead relatives just being around people. My intuition was off the hook, and just people would come to me with their problems, and I could see their future. I could hear it, I could feel it, and I was giving them pass. Like, it was just the only thing that happened, my vibration changed, because the chemicals that were creating the state that was Jeff Kerins before that moment, and I threw up all those emotions, then I now had more higher vibration. I don't know biologically what was going on, but I know a lot less cortisol and a lot more serotonin. It was so much easier just to be grateful. It was so much easier just to have confidence and just be in flow. So, but again, I'd meditate, I'd have spirit guides, everything else kind of show up and whatever. Now, I don't really talk about it because, some people aren't ready for that conversation. But I really didn't talk about the spirit guides and the angelic stuff. But there's a lot of people that could vow just being like, I was having a conversation with them, and I'd be like, who's Ted and Steve? And they're like, well, those 2 people I told you that died, that's what their names were. Oh, yeah. Like, how do I know this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a video of me on the internet doing telekinesis, moving shit. Because one time I had an experience, I'm laying on the couch, and I literally transferred energy to somebody from the top of my head, down my arm, through my elbow, through my hand, and into somebody's leg. Totally by accident. Totally stoned on the couch. Like, it was just something, like there was an intuition voice that would tell me what to do, and I would do it. And when I would do it, some weird shit would happen. So researching it, what I experienced was Reiki, energy transfer, energy healing. And and people are like, they're like, I can't even do that. They're like, I'm a master at it. It's like, well, if you can't do it, you're not really a master. But I digress.
This guy.
But it's like, I was trying to get a company off the ground, everything else. This is just before I hit real rock bottom. And like, I realized that because I researched with Reiki, like with Reiki energy curing diseases, depression, anxiety, everything else. And I'm like, my ego couldn't handle that. If you just told me like I healed somebody just by like placing my hands over them, couldn't heal it, couldn't deal with it. I'd be the world's biggest fucking asshole. See, I know my limitations. I know my limitations.
Know your limits.
But it's like where thought goes, energy flows. And when you put
Yeah.
your energy into people and you care about them, they can feel it. Now,
Yes.
there's some people I have or clients that they don't want solutions, but they just want to be loved. So I try and give them solutions, and then nothing would happen, and then just decided just to love them, just appreciate them, and really be in the moment and just appreciate who they are. Not sympathy or pity, because then they're just going to pick up on that, and that's destructive. But they keep coming back is because they can just feel the love off me.
Yeah. I would say
And that's
I definitely I do not like the feeling of pity. I don't like that. I don't like the tone or the feeling of like something bad happens to you and somebody you don't really know is like, I'm sorry. Well, but you're not, because you fucking go about your life. It's of no consequence to you. You know, somebody who is in your life can be like, I'm sorry this happened. And you understand that. But somebody who is, something bad happens halfway across the planet and everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for them. You're not. You're gonna watch TV, go to bed, like you're gonna be fine. It's unconsequential. That I don't like that. So I don't like the pity part of it. I don't like the pity party. If you're gonna be sad, cool. If you want to support that person, support that person. But don't just be like, well, I'm just sad for them. I don't, because that doesn't help them. It doesn't help them in any way. Right?
Yeah, if you ever go visit a sick person in the hospital, the worst thing you can do is come in and give them pity.
Yeah. Don't give them
Because
pity.
then in their mind, they're justified to feel bad.
Right.
But if you're just like, if you come in and been like, we got this, you're going to heal, don't worry. You know what I'm saying?
So in a business sense, and same but different. I was talking to a friend of mine just about my sales and bills, and I'm like, I need to find a way to generate more revenue. This is slow. I need to make better decisions. And she goes, well, what if you just move out of the house and move in with your dad or your mom or something? What if you change the car? What if you just get a cheaper car? Or what if you cut this bill? And I said, stop saying that. Don't. I surround myself. I have a few friends. I surround myself with people who are positive people who provide solutions to problems in my life, who are positive in that way. When you start putting the seed in your head that you can't do it, and you're telling me now, well, you know what? Maybe you should go get maybe you should just live with your dad. Yeah, then you don't have to worry about the bills. So instead of saying, what you could do, here's a potential solution to generate more sales, more revenue, to change your outcome. Let's go forward. Don't tell me we need to go backwards. I'm not interested in going backwards. I'm not. Just when you start planting doubt, because that's what that is. That's doubt. And this is in the business sense. This isn't even so much but it does tie into stress, depression, anxiety, because all of these external things create these these feelings, right? And I told her, I said, I don't really, I would say passionate about it. I said, Kim, do not ever call me and tell me that I need to cut something out of my life. Don't. Now, I get it if it's something just,
you need to cut cholesterol out of your life.
I'm saying, like, if it's something like, oh, I spend $300 a week on lottery tickets or some shit. Yeah, sure. Okay. I get that. But if you're telling me that the lifestyle, I have to give up what I've gotten here. I've gotten this far. Now I get it. Maybe you overextend yourself if you're on especially if you're on a fixed income. Yeah, sure. I get that. You make $400 a week. You shouldn't try to drive around a Ferrari. Okay, you should put the Ferrari away. But if you are in the mindset that I am, and the people that I surround myself mostly are like this, they're self-started, they're self-motivated people, and you tell someone who has a small business, you know what, man, I know you haven't gotten the sales you were looking for. I know you haven't generated enough money. I know you're stressed out. Maybe you should just look at doing something else. So what you're telling that person is, you know what, I see your dream and I know you believe in it, but you need to give up that dream. And that is, they already, believe me, they feel that way on the inside when they wake up that day. They're like, fuck, man, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should just go get me a fucking stupid job and I should just quit. And that could be any part of their life. You know, for me, it's business related. There could be other things. And once you have people, if you start surrounding yourself with people, hey, you know what, they're right. You just need to stop doing that. You just need to scale back. You need to sort things out. And maybe for some people, the answer is they're overextended and they need to just back up a little bit. But for me, I was like, once you plant doubt in someone's head, you gave them a way out, gave them an excuse. And there's a clip of 50 Cent in an interview that talked about that. He said, I didn't have anywhere. I never ran because I had nowhere to run to. The only thing I could do was keep moving. Like, I didn't have an escape. This has to work. Those people are driven, and they will make a way out. They will go through hell to get there. But if you start surrounding yourself with people and ideas that are like, hey, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should hang it up. Maybe you should not focus on this. That is toxic. You know, surround yourself with someone who goes, you know what you need? Maybe you need to step away for a second, but at the same time, how about this idea? Have you tried this? And maybe those ideas you've tried, and maybe you know that they're not going to work and that person's just not in your space, but they're trying to be positive. Surround yourself with that energy. That energy is addictive. And the opposite of that, look, you're not going to find a successful person who's surrounded by people telling them they can't do what the fuck they're trying to do. Just not. You're going to find a successful person who surrounds themselves with A, successful people, or B, fucking nobody. And they'll do it on their own. That's done
alone.
Right. Because they cut out the negative. And you know who was left? Nobody. And so, yeah, that to me, it's like you've got to put that energy out there, that positive energy out there. And that's what you will get back for sure. Whether it's in a metaphysical, an unconscious space. I mean, look, surround yourself. I almost want to do an experiment, just surround myself with positive messages everywhere that I don't even have to necessarily read, but subconsciously, we're going to see them, right? And subconsciously, maybe you can trigger yourself into changing these subconscious habits. Is there anyone that's done that? Do you have a book of someone that did that? What is that? Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. There you go. How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. There you go. Dr. Joe Dispenza. See, there you go.
There's one. This one I just finished.
You are the placebo. That makes sense.
And then this is his ultimate creation. This is his new one. Like, this one teaches the Kundalini exercise. So he's got
supernatural.
Yeah. So it's like, you're absolutely right. But again, what you're trying to do is put something external around you to program something internal.
Right.
But, and that works, that helps. But those 3 books I just showed you, if you pick up any single one of them, they'll say, like, it'll prove on a scientific level that it's you.
Right.
He even goes into the quantum field of, like, so time and space. Now, forgive me, I am not a physicist. So time and space, the way we look at it, so in external life, if I want to go to the bathroom, it's going to take me X amount of time, distance to get to the bathroom. So more distance, more time. Okay, so we equate that to pretty much everything in our life. You know, how much time, like, I got to suffer until I'm happy. There's got to be a distance. Like, so when I get a new job or more money, I'll be happy. So we're putting a distance to that. Now, in the quantum field, like, even in empty space, there's still energy. So everything is connected no matter what. So if you put the body into the higher level emotions, gratitude, whatever this, not. So if you picture health, you picture success, and you can feel it. So like the mind is connecting with the heart, mind coherence. You know what I'm saying? So it's not,
Right.
I'm feeling angry, trying to think positive, or there's just distortion. You know what I'm saying? So when you get it coherent on a quantum physics level, the body has to meet that reality. Like you're prepping the body to meet that reality. It goes in deeper, but that's as far as I can talk without just putting my foot in my mouth and overextending
Fair
myself.
enough.
So
Fair
I
enough.
no, you'll see that I labeled chapters and everything else. So I got to go back and review, because it's like everything I teach, man, again, life experience. And I won't stop learning. There are some people that I think are just fucking scam artists. There are some people I just think they're insecure, egocentric, think they know it all. And in that, it's really just what they say and the vibe that they get. I don't really need to drop names. I'll wait till I get a little more clout before I start calling people out. But this is in the self-help world that claim to be something more than they're not. Mostly everybody in the self-help world and life coaches, they're all fucking scared shitless to be exposed, because they talk a real positive game, but they even know sure as shit that they can't fucking maintain that all the time.
Right.
You know, sometimes they might go home, put on their mother's clothes, and jerk off to guns and ammo. I don't know these things. But because they do that shame and that embarrassment, they have to project harder. And there's always that little bit of fear that I'm going to get found out, you know, or some people are just like, and you'll notice those ones are the ones who can't give credit. Like, so if they learn something, they can't sit there and be like, hey, I learned this from this. Like this, when I was doing the A.S.L.E.F.T Foundation thing, one guy, he had 2 million followers. I shared one of his posts, and because it's something about love. And I've been following this guy for a year and a half. He doesn't talk about shit what I talk about. I share his post, and he's very interactive. He actually he hearted the post, but you can tell he did some research on my page, because the fucker for the next 2 weeks is talking about surrender, acceptance, forgiveness. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're like just basically fucking plagiarizing me. But it's like where he could be like, hey, maybe I want to get to know this guy. Maybe, you know, being like, I learned from this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just changing up the words, like a few words to make it his flavor.
Right.
But really, what did I do? I changed up other people's words from my life experiences and put my flavor on it. So like, if you look at the new gurus, they're saying the exact same shit what the old gurus are saying. You know, like they just put their flavor on it so they can write a book and they can get paid for it.
Right.
That's just kind of the way the world works. You know, like we have to make money. We all just can't give away the shit for free. You know, some people can, I can't. But it was like I made a deal with myself, and it was a few years ago that I just did the A.S.L.E.F.T presentation and I put it on the internet. I was like, that's for the people who've got no money. That's for the people who need, like, who are searching and looking. Here you go. Use it. You know, it's like, it's a great baseline. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll only charge if you're asking me for my time.
Right.
You know, or if I believe like with friends, like I told you the other night, I was like, as long as I'm not repeating, if I consider you a friend, you can come at me with any problem, because I need to stay sharp too. You know what I'm saying? It's good practice. Because again, it's like, it's just a recipe. If you want to be happy, loving in life, it's a recipe. Now, however you need it to make fucking sense, like maybe you need to climb a mountain with Wim Hof and breathe your ass off and freeze your ass off to get that breakthrough. Maybe you need to sit and meditate and become no thing like fucking Dr. Joe Dispenza. Or maybe you got to be like me and sit in your shit and just surrender to it till it fucking all passes.
Yeah.
And then get your optimism. You know what I'm saying? There's many ways.
You know what's been hard for me with this situation? It's hard for me to not be myself. Like you told me that I'm a fixer, right? That's That's what my brain is wired to be, the fixer. That's what you told me, right?
The fixer. Okay, I
Yeah,
thought you
the
said
fixer.
victim.
No,
Okay,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
fixer,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so it's hard for me to not want to try to fix the problem. Like,
Situations and people. Yeah.
yeah, situations and people. And that is it's so damn difficult for me right now to just go like I want to help. And so for me to not help and walk away from it feels unnatural to me. Like,
Well, no offense, you do want to help, but for the situation we're talking about, you're being very selfish. You only want to
right.
help to make yourself fucking feel better.
I
No
want,
offense.
well, I, yes, maybe, but also I feel
No, no, no,
empathy for
no.
the other
Switch the
person.
maybe, switch the maybe to a yes, and then your mind opens up to more possibilities. Because again, you are wrapping, your intentions are good, but they are also selfish.
What if my intention is to help without anything in return?
Well, then you're fucking lying to yourself.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You wouldn't have gone and dropped off all the shit and
I
fucking
had
blocked on
to.
social media and whatever. You
Well,
wouldn't
I
have made
didn't block
no, no,
anything,
no,
but I
no.
just brought the
You would
shit.
not have made no. You would not have made all those rules to protect your feelings if you really wanted the best for that person. That's a truth.
That didn't protect my feelings. That was the complete opposite of what I ever wanted to do. But
Then
it
why did you
was,
drop the shit? Why did you drop the shit off and try to break all contact?
I didn't try to break all contact.
You
I
told me
dropped,
that's what, hey,
nope.
motherfucker,
I,
that's what you told me you were gonna do.
but I can't do it. I can't break all contact.
Okay.
I dropped the
Okay.
shit because I do see the cycle. Like we talk about the cycle that we've been in. And for me to, I needed to, for both of us to understand that this is a step toward that, to breaking this. Like you can't just say, all right, I'm not okay with this. All right, cool. Well, I have your things here. So we need to just define a new rule, which is if you wanted to show up here, all your stuff's gone. Your stuff is at your house. You've determined that you want to be there, and this is not okay. So I need to go. If you're not going to come get it, you're not going to make the decision. You're going to make me make the decision, which you know I don't want to do. Like, and so we're not good at it. And so the only way to change what we've done in the past was to go to the next step. Now I still have a box of shit here that I haven't brought over there, but that's because it's just fucking half dead right now, apparently. And I don't want to let go of it. But my empathy to that situation is I will be completely transparent, Jeff. Completely transparent. And you're gonna tell me I'm an idiot for even thinking about doing this. But and it's not even about making me feel better because in my brain
Stop fucking
the ship has sailed.
waterboarding and just tell me what you're gonna do.
I bought everything to make her favorite fucking pumpkin pie, and I was gonna bring it over there and just drop it off tomorrow and hope she feels better because I know that she'd fucking love that pumpkin pie. With not even to say hi, just to drop it off. I'll send you a text message and be like, left it out there or whatever. But I wanted to do something to just to put a little like, if she's as I was with her the first time she was sick and it was rough. And if it's worse, then anything I could do to just to make it slightly better, I would like to do that, knowing that it's the situation between us isn't going to change. But I want to make some part of it better because in my brain, I know no one else is.
Okay, look, my man. If you want to spend 3 hours making fucking pumpkin pie, make me one, ship it my way too, okay?
Okay,
Since you're doing it.
I don't know if it's going to be
But
as good when it gets there.
but but
Gotta be
it's
fresh.
like if you're gonna sit there and try and call her up to change what is, then no, you're not helping.
No, I don't want to change
No.
what is. I
Okay,
just
so there's
want
a big
to put like just knowing her as long as I have and knowing if she's that
okay.
rough, like something that's the least that you could do to like maybe cheer somebody up.
Okay, no, fair enough. And you know what? I don't believe you're taking a step back or whatever. You're just caring about somebody and you want to do
Yeah.
something nice.
And that's
But
like wired in my brain.
we started this topic on wanting to help people.
Right.
Okay. Pumpkin pie's good, but it doesn't help people.
Right.
So we started on this line because again, there's a problem, you see a solution, you try and drill that fucking solution until it either happens or you got to break off.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just guessing.
I don't have it. I mean, this is not a problem solution. I was just hoping to maybe put a little bit of happiness into someone's day. You know, that's not anywhere near solving any kind of problem for her, but or me, honestly. But I
Well,
thought it would make me feel a little better.
on another payoff is you want her thinking about you as much as you're thinking about her.
I don't doubt that she thinks about me. I'm sure she does. You don't
Get
spend
over
man,
yourself.
whatever. You don't spend every waking moment with somebody doing shit all day without
Well,
missing that.
she might be thinking about breathing, living.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what
it's
I'm
true.
saying?
She was
Like,
pretty sick, but
but
yeah.
but I'll put that sweet pumpkin pie, and she'll be thinking about sweet Lauren.
Nah.
Oh.
I think if
I'm
it
just
puts a
saying,
smile on your
like,
face, then that's
but if you're like,
a plus.
if you're messaging her and calling her up, being like, "Hey, this is your problem and this is the solution," that's your payoff, not hers.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Okay.
I left that shit
Like
alone.
that's the intention where we first started this. That's where I thought we were
Right.
going.
No, yeah, no, I'm not trying to even.
Oh, pumpkin pie, do
do
that
that.
all day long.
I think that's I think it would make her feel a little better just to, man, she loves pumpkin pie. So like, hey, here you go. Maybe this will cheer you up. I did send her a link to her favorite, the show that we were watching. It was like there's 2 episodes left. She didn't have stars or whatever. So I sent her a Google Drive link to it. And I was like, maybe you can watch it on your laptop or can't figure out how to stream it.
What's the show?
Outlander.
Okay.
It's a good show.
That's my mom's favorite show too.
Yeah. We were watching it and then you know,
That's what them old people do.
she was 2 weeks behind and there's a cliffhanger. I already watched it, man. I wasn't waiting for her no more. So I watched that shit.
Spoiler.
Yeah, it was great. But I was like, you know, if you're fucking sitting at home in bed not feeling good, maybe at least you can watch your fucking favorite show. I mean, shit. At least I can do is send you a link to it. But yeah, I'm not even gonna dive into any of that man. I can't fix that problem. That's not for me to fix. But if I could maybe just make you smile, that's a win.
Why don't you just accept where she's at?
know.
Accept that you can only be part-time in her life right now.
I could do that. I could accept that.
You know,
But
you're gonna have boundaries.
Yeah.
You're not gonna try and solve problems that she can't fucking fix. At the drop of a dime, she comes over, plans to spend the week, and it's only 48 hours. You're gonna shut the fuck up and let her go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you now.
I never did. I never put any pressure on that situation.
No, you did. On a vibe level, on an opinion level. Listen, bro, you've told me the conversations you've had with her when the shit goes down. So you really can't be like, I never did
in
this.
the past, yeah. But like recently,
we're talking
to
2
this,
fucking weeks ago. Oh, my fucking
2 weeks
apologies.
ago. Get out of here. 2 weeks
Look,
ago.
man.
I just said when she came back, something was different.
If you want her in your life, then you got to meet her at her terms. You tried to get her to meet you where you're at. And yeah, and let's be honest, your way is the more peaceful way, more solid way, more committed way.
Yeah.
But what you're finally seeing through your thick fucking skull is that she can't do it. She cannot on an emotional, thinking, physical level. She cannot do it. But if you fucking ease up and start accepting her where she's at, then you're going to see how she really feels about you. Because again, she cares about you, so she doesn't want to let you down. So as you're chirping in her fucking ear over shit she should be changing, you're now part of a problem, not a solution.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, look, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing, if it's only once a week, once a month, once a fucking year. Okay, well, maybe once a year, it's time to move on. But if you're like, but you find the balance to meet her halfway, and she knows that you, the person, is a safe space, safe place. She's not going to be judged. She can be like, she gets enough of that horse shit at fucking home. So, but if you can be something different and something more, then the true nature of everything will work out. Because if you're giving her just unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, one of two things is gonna happen. She's gonna realize she doesn't like you as much as she does. Or two, she's just going to start changing automatically, because she's going to push you to a point, because this is like giving your best. When you finally just let somebody, you give faith. Hopefully I'm not going to get embarrassed. Hopefully I'm not going to get walked over. I'm not going to get used and abused. When you let go of those fears, you're just like, but I'm just going to love you anyways. And you are more than welcome to be around when you want to be around, disappear when you want to disappear. Not many people can fucking do that. But
Right.
if you're at that point right now that you can do it, you will get nothing but her truth, or who she is will unravel to you. You'll like, meaning she'll either come closer into your arms or she'll realize it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And then you'll realize it's time to move on. And then you'll be all jaded and shit, be like, I gave her my heart. I was unconditional and this and that, and fuck all women.
Well,
But you won't be.
the last
You haven't-
time that we had kind of an impasse like that was, well, you know, everyone says it's not fair that I talk to you. It's not fair to you that I do this. And I told her, I said, the only person who determines it's not fair to me is me. Not your friends, not your family, no other people. I determine that it's not fair.
How's it? She's making up half the shit she says about that, at least, because she's just trying to reinforce a feeling.
Right. Yeah.
It's a feeling that she's letting you down, just like it's a feeling she's letting her father down and
Right.
whoever. Like, people she cares about. This is where her parents really fucked up. You know, having the attitude that nothing's ever good enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right.
So that's and she's a good person and she's a nice person, and that weighs on her.
Yeah.
So the guy she cares about, you know, like, but if you can unpack that and give past that and give her the space to allow that to get past, and she doesn't, then it's something else.
Right.
You know, like, who knows? Maybe you guys just aren't meant to be. But if you're going to open up all avenues, that means it's like, you know, to love a flower is to leave a flower, because if you pick it, it ceases to be what it is and it dies. Love is about appreciation, not about ownership. You know, I don't want to make you mine. I just love you so much. I love being around you, and I'll take it in its moments. I'll take it whenever. You can go and do you and whatever, this and that. Just, you know, but you can have boundaries too, being like, hey, like, I don't want to talk about the future. I don't want to talk about, you know, problems you're not willing to change right now.
Right.
Because you're only going to get the advice master, you know, which is Lauren.
Yeah.
Got nothing but solutions, baby.
Which,
Solutions
hey,
you don't want to even
I
hear.
mean, look, I don't always have solutions, but I'll throw something out there. I mean, I always look to the upside. I'm the upside. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I was really, when I think back logically on, you know, when you're like, well, there's always, you know, there's so many other people out there. There are a lot of people out there. When I think about, like, what do I provide? What do I bring to the table? And what do I miss? What do I want out of somebody? And I want to check these boxes off. I'm like, man, it's a big ask. Like, when I really think about it, because I had like 90% of it. Like 90% solid, easy. Maybe more than 90% of it that I had in that relationship. And I'm like, dude, that's a lot. It's a lot to ask. And I think to myself, like, find somebody like me who wants to push you when you definitely don't see it, you know, who's going to stop and take time out of their day to sacrifice a little bit of you to help somebody else, right? Just to get you past it, to push you to that level, to enjoy doing everything that you love doing, like all of the things. You know, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and take a little bit of my time to do this for you at any point in the day. Like, there is no inconvenient time. And I'm like, man, that is a hard ask to get out of somebody. And I think about, like, how much I gave her, and I'm like, man, it was a lot. But then I think to myself, I would do that for anybody who meant that much to me. You know, and that's me. But my problem with that is that I don't have the desire or the aptitude to spread it amongst more than a handful of people in my life. And that's why I have a handful of friends. Right? I'm not built for this online dating life where I need to have a conversation with 20 women on dating apps. I don't care. I literally will, like, after 10 minutes, I'm like, I just do not give two fucks about talking to you ever again. Like, if you could just disappear, it doesn't bother me. But one of you, if there was one person that was like, hey, I'm into you, we have a lot in common, and you get 100% of my attention.
Well, here's the thing, big guy. As long as you're emotionally, and if you're emotionally, you're energetically attached to said girl,
Right.
then everything, of course, it's not going to work out. You
Well,
don't have
even
this.
let's just say
You're not creating the space for it.
I get that, but let's just say even before her,
Don't think you do.
I have room. I want to be 100% into one person. So I find another person and then I detach from said person. I'm 100% in this in somebody else. Like that's just the way my brain is wired. It's how I am. It's
It's
just
how you're programmed.
right. It's
How
I'm
I
programmed.
am. I
That's how
just
I am.
am the
That's how
way I
man.
am.
Yeah, I am fucking way I am. You know, I don't want to be half baked into people. I'm at a point in my life where I do not have time to waste energy on people who don't fucking matter. Like that's it. You bring value to my life or you are just not a part of it. And
Wow,
the
that's
app
selfish.
it is selfish. You're right. It's selfish. Because if I'm going to let you into my life, then what you're going to gain from me is 100%
100% what?
in return. Whatever it is. Whatever you need, you will get 100% from me.
Okay.
And I don't have time to like divvy it up amongst a whole bunch of shallow, superficial relationships.
That's a whole other conversation that I'm not going to unpack at this time.
That's just how I feel
So
about it.
for now, I'll just be like, yes, Lauren, you were right.
Yeah, fair enough. There's a Joey Diaz thing here that you can't hear because fucking technology. But it's a funny quote because he talks about friends. Something just fell from my damn ceiling. That's weird. This is because you don't need 20
You just need
friends.
three motherfuckers.
You
You can
need
take
three
over a country.
motherfuckers. You can take over a country.
Okay, that's what we're confused as Americans.
He said that's where we're confused as Americans. We think we need all these motherfucking people. Three motherfuckers can take over a country, my friend. And he's right. You don't need 20. You don't need to surround yourself with a whole bunch of meaningless things. I don't have time. I don't have energy for it. I'm going somewhere.
I've noticed people in life will ebb and flow. There's times I'll be totally lonely, and then there'll be other times people just want my attention.
Yeah.
So I just realized just go with the ebb and flow.
Okay.
Because
Well, look,
like
man.
the ones who usually when everything's flowing and then everything drains, there's usually one or two that sticks around that's worth sticking around.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, through my prior to this relationship, I found myself.
Oh shit, I'm just talking about people. I just made myself sound like a slut.
Yeah, well, hey.
No, I'm
So-
talking about people, man, not just dating.
Yeah, no, I'm saying prior to even this relationship, like I remember, all right, I got divorced and I was like, I just want to meet new people. I don't have many friends. I just want to go out and meet people. I wanted to meet women, but I didn't want any expectations. So I'm like, I just make friends. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking to hook up, not looking to date. I just want to enjoy life without expectation. And I met people that way. And I found myself like, well, talking to like 6, 7 people at one time, like this is exhausting. And honestly,
Yeah.
like it's so much like just throughout the day, like just trying to keep up with what the stupid like, hey, how's your day? Well, fuck. I mean, let's be honest, you don't fucking care because you don't know me. So it does. But if I was like, oh, well, I got in a car accident, and then when I got home, someone ran over my cat, like all of that, the other person's like, check out this one. Like, fuck that guy. That was a shit day, Like you don't care. So at some point, it's all just superficial, back and forward bullshit, right? Now, if you want to be a part of that person's life and you want to engage and go make new memories with that person, go out and do stuff, be a part of their life, cool. Then it's like, how's your day? Man, you're not going to believe what happened. And I have people in my life that I've met through that friend stage that are still around. 3 people that I still will talk. I can call right now. They will answer the phone no matter what. And they are rock solid people who bring value to my life. I bring value to their life. That's the people I want in my life. I don't need the whole everything else part of it, the dating scene. Like, I'm not going to be this person who's just going to be like dating multiple people at one time. I don't have the energy for that shit. I don't. I have the energy for one person. So if it's not this person, we're going to move on and find another person. Put our energy in that person. It's just how I'm wired. Some people are wired the other way, where they can't give 100% to anybody. You only get 10%. And they give 10% to 100 people.
Only 10%?
Dude, some dudes probably less than 10%. Let's be honest. Some of them don't even get 10%. And then there's a whole movement right now of everyone's just single, man. Look, freaking scroll through social media and how many people are on there who've been like, I've been single for 7 years or something. You're like, what? How have you been single for so long? Oh, people suck. I'm just happy being alone. I'm like, okay, well, I still believe that life is better with somebody else. You can be happy, but life is better with somebody else.
And with that belief works for your value when someone's in your life, and it works against you when they're not in your life.
You are correct. You are correct.
So when it comes to the feeling of loneliness, you are creating it from your beliefs, which are neither right nor wrong.
That's valid. It's neither right nor. It is lonely. Yeah, loneliness is real.
Again, loneliness is a belief.
Yeah.
So there can be somebody at Dodger Stadium that feels alone. 40,000 people.
Yes.
Or there could be somebody who just feels fulfilled on a deserted island.
I don't believe that.
See, again,
I don't believe that for one reason, because the absolute worst thing you can do to a human is solitude. Like solitary confinement in prison is the worst thing you can do to somebody.
First of all, big boy, that's like 6 by 6 by 6 walls by 6. So, but if you're in a beautiful place and you've got food and you've got shelter and you've got nature, trust me, buddy,
you will kill yourself eventually. Because you're lonely.
Hopefully life will introduce you to somebody that might help you to change it. Now, this loneliness that you're feeling, I don't think it's going to crush you, not right now at this stage. So what it can do is make you suffer until you do something motivational.
Right.
Because it's not going to break you. It's just a shitty feeling. You're not going to go fucking jump off the roof and see what happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a teaching moment. So you're either going to carry it or you're going to go inwards and solve it. Right. Or it's like the casino. Something external is going to happen and you're going to be like, oh, now I don't feel lonely anymore. But again, it's just like going to the casino and rolling the dice. Because you're putting to get rid of that feeling, you're making it another person's responsibility.
I don't like that. I don't like that sentence. Another person, you're not making it their responsibility.
Yes, you fucking are. You better own that bitch.
I don't know. I don't know if I
better
can own that one.
You're gonna have to fucking own it, man. Because it's the truth. Explain to me how that's somebody else that you're like, okay, I won't feel lonely anymore when I meet XYZ person.
Because you won't, because you will feel fulfilled. But that's not on them.
And yes, you are. You're putting it on them. Why can't you feel fulfilled right now? Why can't you feel fulfilled?
Because you've had the other and it's better.
No, man. See, here's the thing. It's late. I'm not fucking unpacking it.
Okay, fair enough. I did say I was going to go to bed.
I'm even too lazy to get you examples. But the reason you didn't like it, because you know it's fucking true.
I won't argue. I won't argue with you. I will not argue with you. It's too late to argue. I did say I need to get up early. Listen, I've got to go to the gym and see if this other person's at the gym. But I'm trying to divert my attention. I'll put it on her.
Excuse me. Will you end my loneliness for me?
I know you're over here lifting weights. I'm over here lifting weights. I'm going to add some emotional weight to your life. How about that? Does that make sense? You're like, you don't look like you're squatting enough. Let me add this. Let me just pile this on you right quick.
How about 25 pounds of sadness and 10 pounds of love, baby?
Oh, the other way around. I got more love than sadness.
At this moment, no.
Yes, at this moment.
No, the loneliness is making you loving. Anyways, I'm just fucking with you. So let's say goodnight to people.
All right, good night to people. We'll say goodnight. If you made it through any of this, we had some people come in here. That was great. I do appreciate you guys giving us some likes. We're going to come back and do this again every week, twice a week, or every day. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll be back. Look at Jeff. He's like, I got shit to do. Man, he's got a wounded rabbit to take care of. Where's the bunny? Where is it?
The bunny is put it in rehab. I called the city, and there's a wildlife center, so they came, and it's good news. He wasn't paralyzed because he wasn't using his back legs. So
wildlife center. So anyway, there's 4 lucky people out there that got rabbit's feet.
Yeah, no. The guy, I don't know. The guy who showed up either loves his job or he's taking the thing home to cook it. Because he was just like, this is the kind of guy like who has like a suspect browser history.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, just if I went and checked your fucking history. Because it was just the way he was talking, and he's like, if you do this and if you pinch the rabbit this way, you can see if it's hydrated. And don't worry, we're gonna take it to the shelter. We're gonna give a little injection under the neck. The water's gonna be absorbed, and he's gonna be hydrated. And I'm just like, how long you been working at this? He's like 3 years. I'm like, fuck, you love your job.
You're like, dude, this dude has like 10 rabbits at home that are really well taken care of, and he has 3 women in barrels in his backyard.
or that's in reverse. And those 3 women are locked up.
No, they make it.
Pelts. And he's like, are you sexy? You fuck me?
Bro, they did not make it. He loves rabbits more than people. You're like, man. They found a barrel in Vegas in Lake Mead that's been in there since maybe the 70s with a person in it. So some bodies are washing up. That was in the news. Maybe some mobster, something. Yeah, it was real. It was this week. Just saying, could have been that guy. How old was he? Just trying to track him down. Anyway, let's get off topic. So we'll let it go here. It's a good time. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.